Thanks, Rosalind, for this afternoon. Yeah. Been a long time since we know each other, right?
Yes, many years.
Yeah. So for this session today, we want to focus on the subject of parenting with questions, which I believe that a lot of our parents today, in facing some of the challenges that they have with their kids, with their loved ones, we will be very used to a certain approach. Yeah. So today I'm just hoping that I can tap onto Rosalind's rich experience in her years of dealing with parents, with children, with teens, how we can encourage parents to do differently. So, but before that, maybe Rosalind can invite you to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. And okay, my name is Rosalind Sun. I have been in this psychology for already 20 over years. And I also got my doctorate in psychotherapy. And also I've been doing parenting workshop in schools, like some of these very good schools, maybe I should name or should not name, like, okay, like CHIJ, the primary and secondary schools. I did for them also about the topic about bullying for the students, and then parenting for the parents, and usually very big group of parents has joined. Yeah, some came, father came alone or mother came alone, but a lot of them are couples coming together, to learn together. I think it's important, parents must come together to learn.
Thanks, Rosalind. Yeah, so it's great that you have a lot of experience dealing with teenagers, children. Yeah. So in your experience working with parents, what are the common challenges that you have helped parents overcome?
Well, frankly, parents, after the workshop, not only just CHIJ, I also go to other schools, but parents will always crowd around me, and they always have a lot of questions, because I feel that children, at different stage, they behave and they have different challenges themselves, and a lot of us parents is we bring down what we have been taught by our parents, and we thought that that is the best, that we do it onto discipline our own children by scolding, nagging, by caning, punishment, and all. But it is not applicable now. The children are different now. It's the same in schools. When we were young, teachers will always hit us with the ruler, if we do something wrong. But it is very different now, with children. So if you do this sort of a thing, you are causing them to rebel even more. So my advice to parents is to communicate with the kids. Don't talk down on them. Bring them down, or you bring yourself down to their level, and ask questions. Questions don't start with why. You can always ask where, when, what, how, instead of why. Then, of course, parents, we got to be very aware of our language, our words used on the children. Because, and how do we communicate between husband and wife as well, parents? If we always communicate with shouting, it's monkey see, monkey do.
That's right. That's right.
Children will look at the parents, and then they will do the same thing. So a lot of parents will ask me, how come my daughter or my son, when I talk to them, they are shouting at me? So my question to them is always, how do you communicate with them? Yeah. So if the way you communicate with them, that is how they will communicate with you. So our facial expression is also very important. If you talk to them with very grouchy look and and very irritated look, it's the body language and the facial expression.
Yeah.
They will rebel and walk away and not listen to you. So it's always to, ask questions. How come? How come you are reacting this way? How come you behaving this way? So my advice is to always look at what your daughter or your son is doing good.
Okay.
And then encourage and empower them. Say, don't pick up always the bad behavior. How come you never keep your clothing? You just, change your clothing and just throw it on the floor. Or you come home, you ask, have you done your homework? With a very grouchy look and irritating facial expression. Have you done your homework? You are more interested in their education than their person.
Yeah, so common, right? Some of these things that you mentioned.
Yes.
So Rosalind, in your work with parents, how do you actually help them? Do you have specific, tools or techniques that you actually do with the parents that you work with?
Yes, I do. I also counsel young parents as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of them, just do not know at a loss, and sometimes even, before I have a car, I'm driving, I even some of the parents that I know, they will ask me, my son don't listen to me, or my daughter don't listen. So I will always ask them, how do you talk to them? And also for me, I'm a very solution focused person. I will always, sort of, if they are like not happy, I don't want to deal with it. I'll calm them down first. Maybe hug them, show them your love. Then after that, then ask them, separate the two. The person, the behavior, and the choices. You see, it's the behavior and the choice that you are not accepting, and you don't like it. Yeah, it's not about the person. The person, you still have to give that unconditional love. And then of course give them something positive. So I would encourage the parents to use tools like questioning tools, and teach them what sort of questioning tools that they can use. And then how they can just sit down with the child, maybe hold them together with you, and then eye to eye contact, and then talk to them. If they are shouting and you are shouting, nobody hears.
Thanks, Rosalind. Very, very useful. I really like that point about, separate the choices from the person and the behavior. Yeah, really, really zooming in on the choices and the behavior, but you learn how you can unconditionally love and accept the person. Yeah, we have some. We have some audience who is joining in, also leaving us some chat, in the chat box on Facebook Live. So Winnie Chua says hi, and also my friend Christopher. Well, yeah, great to have people listening in. Hope this can be useful for parents. So coming back, Rosalind, one of the things that I was really curious about, and also in my own work with parents as well, I encourage them to use a lot more questions, instead of
Right. Yes.
scolding.
Right.
So what would you recommend, specific situations or scenarios that questions will work better?
Okay. I think before is we always were either, wow, you are very stupid lah, you are very naughty lah, and use the cane and punishment. But for me, the questioning would be like, how, like, okay, let's say a child, okay, come in and then they just drop their clothing, their school uniform or their bag, they just throw it down. Well, you either will have to set good boundaries first, right from the beginning. I always believe in setting boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah, from young, that they don't do that, right? But if they do, then you see there's always getting them to sit down and ask them, how come have you forgotten that this is not a good thing to do? And how come you are doing it? Yeah. What do you think we should? What do you think mommy can do?
Right.
As a punishment.
Yeah.
Get them to talk, get them to think, instead of why are you doing this? You know it's wrong, and then start to nag and go for days.
Yeah.
No, deal with it in a very gentle way. The child will really think and listen. Nagging is of no use. Yeah, because these days you nag, they will either not come back when they are in their teens.
Yeah.
Teenage is starting from 13 to 25. This is the group of teens. They will be very rebellious age. They are neither there big or young. So you don't want to chase them out of the house where they have friends, and then they go into, I counsel gangsterism teens, delinquent teens, and at-risk teens. This is what happens at home. Parents are nagging, scolding, comparing even. Your sister or your brother, don't do things like that. They listen and they are doing well for their study. How come you are like that?
Yeah.
And I tell you, they never like comparison. So stop doing all this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really, really important. One thing that Rosalind brought up is that you do not, you don't want to start too late, so we should think about if we can have the chance, right at the start, when they are still kids, when they are still children, we really come in already and set the boundaries, use questions instead of scolding, and nagging. Yep. So, very, very useful, Rosalind.
Can I add in?
Yeah.
So in this way, you are also teaching your teens or your children from early age problem-solving skills.
Yep.
By asking questions.
Correct. Yeah. Which is really important, right? We don't just every time tell them. We get them to think, we get them to analyze, and this is actually building up their competence, building up their social skills, which is so crucial and important.
Yes, and also build up their self-esteem.
Yeah,
as well. Yes.
So thanks, Rosalind. Okay, if there are 3 golden tips that you would like to leave with our audience today, who is listening in, what would that be?
Wow, that is a good question. Golden tips, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Very importantly, it's always bring yourself down to their level with eye contact. And a lot of them we have already touched in the first three questioning. I mean, first three explanation is the unconditional love that you really have to do, and always look at what they have done good, what they have done well. Don't look at what they are naughty part, but what they have done good and well. Is to empower it. You know, when you are able to encourage and empower them, they want to do better. To say, you know, I always like to use my, wow, how did you manage to be able to do, you know, to help up with washing, for example.
Yep.
You know, then they want to do better. They feel great. Yeah. But if you were to scold them, nag at them, then they don't want to do it. You know, they will say, I do also, you never see. I do good also, you don't see it. You only see what I've done wrong. Yeah. So these are building their behavior as well. Yeah. And then, of course, you are helping them to learn of themselves. Yeah, which is important. Okay. Always giving them positive. Don't use negativity or use negative connotation with them. Like you are stupid lah, you are useless lah. You know, all this negativity. Always change to something positive. Yeah. I've heard it in my own family. You know, yeah. You know, my little grand will do something and do wrong. And then I heard it, they get scolded. Why are you so stupid? You know, and then the shouting and all. So my grand will come to me, grandnieces, nephew will come to me, asking me, you know, telling me, I don't like my parents shouting at me. I don't like them, you know, telling me I'm stupid. And I have to really recondition them. I think it's very important to condition your children. Another way you can condition them when they are small, you know, give them stars. Yeah. If they done something good and you notice it, give them stars. So they want more. You know, and at the end, like after 1 month, you could give them a reward, which is you don't have to buy expensive things for them. Just bring them out, have a meal, they are happy already. You know, it's a reward system to recondition them. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So I also want to add one more, you know, it's don't curse your children or swear at them. Never do that. And always is when you are angry or you are not happy, please don't deal with any fights. The children may have fights. Don't deal with it. Go into your toilet or go into your room. Look into the mirror at yourself. Cool yourself down. Calm yourself down. Then deal with it. Wow. And come back and deal. I think it's so important. Yeah. Thanks, Rosalind. Very, very practical tips, ideas that, you know, a lot of parents, I think, if we can just apply some of this, it will really, really make a difference, a lot of difference, in our own parenting journey. So thanks, Rosalind, for this afternoon. And I think with these 20 minutes that we have, you know, spent and we have shared is really so much that people can actually take away with. Yeah. So I think we want to just wrap it up here. And I believe that, you know,
there are so much more that we can do and we can
Yes.
learn. But of
Right.
course, with
Truly.
limited time we have here, we can only touch on just a little bit. Yeah. So if you are interested, do stay connected with myself, with Rosalind. In the description, there is Rosalind's email. You feel free to get in touch with her if you want to, ask her for further consultations, or even myself, if you are looking, to get some inputs. We are able to, offer free consultation online. Yeah, just to see how we can be of help. Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Can I add?
Yeah.
Joe is a very experienced person in coaching as well. He has
Thank you.
handled, when I know him, he was working for a family service center, and he's deal with teens a lot as well. And I think if you need help, yes, coaching,
Yeah. Thanks, Rosalind. Yeah, very happy to have you this afternoon. Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Any questions that maybe from the floor that you want to ask? We have still got 5 minutes.
Yeah. There isn't really questions, or if there's any questions, feel free, those who are listening in still, you can type in the Facebook live chat. But there is maybe just one or two comments, which is from Christopher is one, leading and showing is the best way of guiding the child, which reaffirms just now what, Rosalind, you were saying about modeling, right? Really
Yes.
model
Very
for our
important,
kids.
yes.
And then he further adds, if you are sloppy, children will be sloppy. So really monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. So it's so important, right? For us parents, before we point a finger at our kids, think about whether we need to reflect ourselves first.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think there's any other questions. But yeah, I believe, this will be recorded, so those who are watching can really get in touch with us again. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
You for inviting me.
Thanks, Rosalind. Yep. Have a great weekend.
And you too. God bless.
Thank you.